for a lot of folks on the left. I do not think that it is the humane treatment of people crossing the border. If it were, they would be calling for more funding, not less funding for Border Patrol, so we could make sure that people who are crossing the border and are taken into Border Patrol custody are then being kept in comfortable conditions along with their children while their cases are being adjudicated. There'd be more funding for the judiciary, for these border courts, so that we could accelerate the process and make sure that everyone is heard more quickly. Democrats have turned all of this stuff down. Instead, what they want to do is create a false scarcity in the Border Patrol system so that they can then claim that Trump is being cruel. That is the goal here, to claim that cruelty is the goal. Well, again, the goal would be to enforce the law. Now, Trump and his people haven't helped themselves because there are all sorts of reports that have been put out by the media that Trump says that he wants to magnify family separation as a deterrent for people who are crossing the border. And that, of course, I've said over and over and over is wrong. But if the Democrats and people in the media are claiming that Trump's cruelty is sort of a feature, not a bug of the system, so too is the Democratic program, which is deliberately robbing the CBP of the support that they need in order to make sure that the system is not cruel. But here's Anderson Cooper calling Trump cruel, not the Democrats who are withdrawing all the funding.
The president, whether he likes it or not, has explicitly embraced the notion of family separation. The cruelty, it's not a bug of the system, it's a feature, which may have been a bridge too far for Secretary Nielsen, but even if it was, it comes at the end of a very, very long road, which she has been traveling for a very, very long time.
Okay, so it's a feature, not a bug, and everybody who's involved is cruel and brutal and terrible and awful and cruel and brutal, except for the Democrats who refuse to fund this stuff. So their line is going to be that Trump is being unethical and terrible. Juan Williams on Fox News tried to make the same point.
The truth is that Obama was dealing with unaccompanied minors. Here you have families. So you have moms and children who were separated by Nielsen.
And yes, the second and point, why?
Again, I think that it's not only is it illegal,
why.
It's unethical and immoral.
So what do you do? So you put them in the same position? No, in the same
I'm just saying
compound
what you said
with
wasn't
strangers.
True. It's just not true what you said. But I'm going to say something else.
So it was working perfectly.
It wasn't working. We have a different kind of issue now with so many families and children with those families.
Okay, so you can hear Greg Gutfeld shouting over and over, why? Why? And Juan Williams will not answer the question because here is the why. Tom Perez, head of the DNC, explains that he doesn't want a tough border policy. He thinks a tough border policy is dumb. He wants open borders. Okay, that's the real rationale here. People in the Democratic Party are using this as a wedge issue to try and drive Hispanic voters to the polls. They want to portray the Trump administration as cruel and inhumane. They want to increase the number of people who potentially will be given amnesty so that they will vote Democrat. This is not about the humane treatment of people crossing the border. I want all those people treated humanely. So do you. Everyone wants people who are entering the country and legitimately have asylum claims treated humanely. I want them kept in comfortable conditions while they await the trial to which they are entitled on their asylum claim. And I want people who are falsely claiming asylum not to be able to enter the country. I want those people to go to the back of the line and not cut the line. And I want those people to apply the normal way. And I have deep sympathy for people who are trying to get into the country. I'm essentially libertarian on immigration, except for two issues: welfare use and cultural assimilation. I think that people who come to the United States should assimilate into traditional American values, meaning a belief in small government, meaning a belief that the government is not the solution to everybody's problems, meaning a belief in free speech, a belief in private property, right? All of these sort of Anglo-Saxon notions of law. I think that everyone, including my great-grandparents, had to come and assimilate to those. I think that is a good thing. I think that is piece number one. And piece number two, you shouldn't come here and be dependent on welfare. Neither of those seem particularly arguable to me. You fulfill those two conditions, I think not only should we welcome you in, we should encourage you to come. I think all of that is good. And I want people who are trying to get in treated well. This is not about trying to treat people with cruelty. I don't want kids separated from their parents either. I don't want any of that stuff. But the courts have made a standard that is not enforceable other than for the president to do nothing about illegal immigration. And that's precisely what Democrats want.